Hi guys, if you can hear screaming, I do apologise. I'm trying to remove that in the editing, but I wanted to make a video about learning to learn. And I suppose the screaming comes into play in some really weird way. The screaming has been going on all bloody day. It's driving me absolutely crazy. And literally, if I open my balcony window, I just get a lovely wafter of what other people have been smoking. Honestly, this place sucks. It's helping me learn. And this is the thing about learning to learn. And this is the point of the video, right? So learning to learn, which you'd think I'd know by now because I'm 34, but it's interesting. And so I've been learning to code, right? Which you can probably tell by now with my video series. I'm going through Python Crash Course book. I want to get the book done within a month. And so I feel like I need to get through X amount of pages a day. And yesterday I only did 10 pages, which is shit. I've been studying 5 to 6 hour sessions, right? I have a break and then I do another 6 hours. So like 2 days ago I was doing 12 hours and it burnt me out quite a bit. Apparently the best way to learn is to do study blocks, right? So you do like an hour and then take a break and then an hour and then a break and so on. I was not doing that and I found myself like trying to hit my dopamine by like doom scrolling or doing stuff subconsciously, which I didn't realize. And it was really bad. So the best thing to do, which I've realized, is to break it down into blocks. Today, I managed to do up to like 14 minutes without doom scrolling and then a break. And then I do like 30 minutes and stuff, right? So my goal is to do an hour, proper good quality learning, and then take a break and then do another hour. That is the goal, but I'm struggling. But it seems the best way to learn because it's based on science and data. And this is what like the top study gurus, I suppose, or, you know, if you're trying to study something really complicated, that's what they do. The other thing as well, being in a shit situation, which kind of ties into what I'm saying in this video. I don't think you can hear the screaming. I think it's died down a bit now, luckily. I mean, it's 7 o'clock, but yeah, if you're in a really shit spot, it encourages you to learn, right? That's kind of obvious, but I mean, when you're really in a bad spot, you learn a lot quicker, you adapt and so on. The place I live is terrible. I'm not going to lie to you. It's in a kind of a rough area. I'm literally in a box. Like that kitchen is 5 steps behind me. And I don't really have many people in the city that I live, friends, family and so on. But I'm using this situation to, you know, get into a better job and then be able to move out and hopefully leave the country because the UK is just fucked. Yeah, it's taking advantage of a stressful situation. I think about my family a lot, though, when I think about my situation. And it's why I don't like to act like a victim or be too negative, even though I'm probably being a bit negative. So my name is Benjamin James Gamage, right? And Benjamin's after my granddad's dad, and James is my nana's dad. My nana's side of the family, they had it rough. They couldn't afford to eat food. And I think when James enlisted in the war, it enabled the family to eat food, right? And then after the war, the Great Reset in terms of people's opportunities happened. And then it gave James opportunities. I don't know what James's opinion would be, but he'd probably appreciate the war because before the war, his family really struggled with like slum-like conditions in the UK. And so it's really important to give context to your situations. And so I might come across as like being the victim here or complaining. It's not. In some ways, I find this situation good for me because it forces me to grow and improve. I suppose you could then argue, well, why didn't you do this before? And that's a really good question, actually. I think I was trying to figure out what to do. It took me longer than other people, I suppose. It's funny because I like to think myself as quite intelligent. You know, I've got 120 IQ, but just slightly above average. But clearly not because, you know, wouldn't have wasted all these years. But then, you know, I suppose on the other side, you know, I was beaten up a lot and stuff, and I'd use gaming as escapism in my 20s and stuff like this. Anyway, that's water under the bridge. Point is, use your situation to your advantage, right? And if your situation seems really fucked and shit, that's often where growth happens. It's worth reminding myself this, as well as, you know, it might be a good concept for people who are watching this video because being the victim is so easy. My thing is, though, is that if I do improve my situation, is to make sure to not get in this situation bloody again, right? Learn something foolproof, learn something, and then build systems that make me money that I don't have to be, you know, smelling what people have been smoking when I open my window and hearing screams all bloody day. Because I can't be dealing with this forever. I would go absolutely crazy. And that's the other thing as well, right? I live in like a block of flats, essentially, and these flats are tiny. You've got people living in these flats with families and children, evidently. No wonder they're screaming all the bloody time. But yeah, I mean, it just feels so deprived. It says something about the country I live in, really. I know you get slums or bad conditions everywhere, but for a first world country, you'd think the conditions would be better. But that's another video, isn't it? You know, at the end of the day, if I study hard enough and I work my ass off just for a couple of years, right? I could probably leave the country because my skill set would be more valued elsewhere. It's just a case of getting that valued skill set and using this shit situation to my advantage because it's given me time. Hopefully this is interesting or useful for you guys to watch. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you think, you know, is your situation shit? Are you taking advantage of your situation, you know? And are you just assuming, oh, you're feeling sorry for yourself because your situation sucks? And to be fair, I do that sometimes. So I don't blame you if you do. Keep your chin up, guys, and carry on, as they say. Cheers.